Today I'm going to take a look at Jamm Pro by Ninja Tunes, and I've been playing around with this for a while, thinking of making some sort of review and walkthrough, and I've actually attempted to record something a couple of days ago. When I first opened this, I was expecting a standard beat app, something you'd normally get a handle on in about half an hour, but there's just so much in here. I whiled away a couple of hours without noticing the time flying by, just creating loads of nice variations on the same beat, adding effects and modulation, and it was actually quite an eye-opener to see how much you could do with a loop by easily saving different effect setups and stuff. But as I say, I tried to record something a couple of days ago, and the trouble is there's so much in here that finding the right thread without just haphazardly demoing function after function was quite difficult, really. I'll just load in this one here, Biomods SC for Starsky Car. So here we go. Load in a scary sort of gas mask man, and from looking at the home screen the first time, it might all seem a bit confusing and quite haphazard itself. And if you press the help button in the top right, it doesn't really help. It sort of makes it seem even more confusing. I suppose you've got to actually read what it says, but I think, oh my god, look at all the things on this screen. And actually, it's really quite well laid out. And once you get to know the layout, it's actually an extremely ingenious way of controlling an awful lot of content without getting lost and without any menu diving. And I think that's why it's been so difficult to nail down a thread, because everything's here on the main page and everything you need is easily accessible, but there's so much of it. Once you delve a little deeper, you know, where'd you start? So before I walk through each section of the screen, I'll just demo a couple of its highlights. Firstly, real-time control is just everywhere. Let me just play what this is. Let's have a listen. So you've got 4 parts playing there: beats, bass, bio and mods. And if I just press on the beats here, it says descend. Look on the top left, you can see low cut and drill. These are effects parameters that I'm actually changing. So low cut, high cut and drill. So if I just play the beat on its own. So just by touching the screen, I'm instantly getting lots of nice bits. So that's pretty amazing to start with. And not only that, but for, I don't know, let's play, just selecting stuff at random here. So let's play that. I was actually modulating all 4 of those at once. This D-grade bio, the Infinity, Donker and 8-way kit. And if I press 4 of them, you get the 4 effects channels appearing on the top left. So wow, yeah, brilliant. You know, as soon as you start playing with it, it's like, ooh, hello, this is interesting. I'm moving down to the bottom left of the screen. I'll go through all this in a minute, exactly how it all works. But these buttons here, these are all effects. Press that. Oh look, I've got crush and drive. This is the overdrive effect for the beats channel. So if I play the beat. So there I'm modulating the distortion and the loop at the same time. Again, amazing. So the next one along is filter. So let's try and play the filter, the distortion and the beat. So that's why I think this is really good. As soon as you start playing with it, there's loads of stuff to do, but I don't want to confuse things by showing you everything at the same time. So let's go through the main page section by section. Top left is save and close, export, etc, etc. So along the top we have what are basically scenes, clips or snapshots of the whole setup, which include the effects and the Coldcut settings. And don't worry, I'll get into the Coldcut section later. It's essentially a flexible effect modulation and sample manipulation tool. So each of the scenes along the top can have different parts playing, different channels muted, effects, different Coldcut effects and XY pads on or off, and completely different effect settings on everything. The second button from the top left up here toggles a sequence play on or off, which plays through each of the scenes automatically. And as I say, there's 64 scenes, so you can play 64 scenes, and they can be quite long as well. If we go into just the clip length here, this clip's 8 bars long, so that's 64 clips, 8 bars long. So that's that's quite a huge performance. So by saving various scenes and saving them across the top here, you can move from one to the next, to the next, to the next, really simply, and it's saved all the effects, all the parameters, and that, as well as all the sort of different effects you can use live on that I've just shown you earlier. It just makes for an incredibly powerful live tool and a writing tool as well. Here we've got the tempo, up and down. You've got the sliders to do that as well. Let's get it back to what it was. 8, there we go. Then you've got transpose, and it's in C minor at the minute. Then you've got swing for each of the channels as well. And top right, as we saw earlier, that's the help button. And the next 4 rows down, beats, bass, bio and mods, they're your 4 main channels. You have a pitch bend for each of them, followed by 8 loops. So in the beats we've got 8 loops: descend, cronks, 808 kit. Let's just play those. You get the idea. And you might have noticed that the app picks a musically apt time to change from one part to the other, so it doesn't glitch and smooth over any dodgy timing on your part when you're performing. So just to show you that again. And these are just in one of the presets that come with the actual app. You can make your own, you can buy other ones as well. But 4 main channels: beats, bass, bio and mods. And you can change the names of these. These are just what it's called in this particular setup. Let's just turn those off for now. So when you click on it, that's now on, and now it's off. That's muted, and now it's on, 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 on. Quite simple. Just show you that. Get the idea. I do like that sort of record stop effect at the end. These pads on the right hand side, these are sort of one-off samples, what they call as stabs. So if we go into the mixer on the bottom row, we can see here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 volumes. That's the beats, the bass, the bio, the mods, and the pads. So if we just put the solo on the pads, then you've got to press play. So that's the top half of the screen. Really simple, really easy. Let's go back to play on the bottom. On the bottom, what we have here are all the different sort of menus you can go through. I'll explain each of these in a minute. So back on the play screen, on these buttons on the bottom left, these are the effects for the 4 channels above. So if we just put the beats on, what I've got on here is the distortion for the beats, filter for the beats, delay for the beats, reverb for the beats, and pump for the beats, which is like a sidechain compression. And the next one down is the bass, distortion, filters, delay, reverb, compression, or pumping as it's called here. And the same for the bio and the same for the mods. So those were these 4 separate rows come from. So that's all the effects on for all the channels. And what we have here is again a little more complex than it might first appear. I originally thought that these would simply switch on and off global effects, so global distortion, global filter, global delay, global reverb, a bit like an auxiliary send on a traditional mixer, but actually each of the channels has its own effects section. So clicking on this tone button, this is the distortion and the filter page, time is the delay and the reverb page, and pump is the sort of pumping compression page. So going into the distortion and filter page, we can see we're on beats now. If we push that and then slide down, we can go, that's what's on the bass, this is what's on the bio channel, mods channel, and stabs channel. And it's not perfectly obvious here, but what I'll do is I'll go to the bass and I'll change a few of the settings. I'll go to the bio, change a few more of the settings. To the mods, change a few more settings. And then the stabs, they've got their own effects as well. And if we look at that now, you can see that each of them have their individual settings. So back on the play page, if we look at this distortion on the beats is different, or can be different, to the bass, and different to the bio, and different to the mods. So going into tone again, we've got distortion, you've got 5 different types: solid, tube, fuzz, fat and shaper. And on the filter you've got DJM, I think it must be a DJ mixer, 4-pole low pass, 2-pole low pass, band pass and high pass. So it's really flexible, and I've only started looking at the first 2 effects. Go into the time, and you've got delay, you've got tape delay or digital delay. And reverb, you've got jam and you've got pure. I imagine jam something a little bit more characterful. And then you've got the freeze function as well for infinite reverbs. So again, it's all looking really, really interesting, isn't it? So let's turn all the effects off for now. Maybe listen to some of them. So let's put this 808 kit on. It's quite a nice sound, this. So plenty of fun to be had just with the distortion and the filter alone. Let's have a listen to the reverb and the delay. Now let's try a little bit of this pumping effect. The pumping effect uses the kick off the beats channel. So let's try and find something, chords. We'll put pumping effect on this D-grade sound. And let's just turn down the beats so we can hear what that's doing. Let's come into there, turn down the beats. And you can hear that pumping. When the kick's playing, the sound isn't. And the higher this value, the bigger the pumping effect. So next up are these 4 buttons here, and these toggle on and off with the XY panel. So let's try going back to this 808 kit. Play that. So that's distortion, crush I think it is, and reverb, and the circle is filter. And you can affect all the rest of them. So let's put some more channels on, and let's affect all of those channels with the XY panel. I was toggling a couple of them on and off while messing around with the XY, and you get all sorts of nice, lovely, crazy effects. So next up along the bottom are these 4 buttons here that are all being toggled on all the way through, and these are for the cold cut mode. Again, it's the channels on or off, so beats, bass, bio and mods. And these buttons here toggle on and off the actual effects, and these effects are built up from, if we go along to the bottom, to cold cut, that's here. So each of the cold cuts is a variation on all these effects here: slice, gates, pitch, reverse and drill, call and response, and then these modulation routines 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And each of these are individually set for all 4 channels. So slice on the beats channel is different to the slice on the bass, different to the slice on the bio. Although on this effect, typically they're all the same. So we've got slice, gates, pitch, reverse and drill, call and response, and modulation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's various edit options there as well. So if we look at slice for a minute, let's look at the beats on their own. That's playing them all sequentially. Let's just mess about with it a little. Pretty cool. Let's put something on bio as well, just to give us something musical to go along with. So a lovely, beautiful, easy way of chopping a beat up. But what we've got here on the right hand side are various options to randomize it as well. Let's just play this. And these are constantly changing because I've changed the evolve parameter here. So get the idea, all sorts of madness you can do from that. Let's just reset it using this button on the top right, and let's go in and play with some gates. Let's put some gates on sparse as well, so turn that on here. Obviously, I'm just showing you what it does. It's not like musically brilliant in any way. Reset it again. Go into pitch, reverse and drill. Let's try and alter the pitch of that bio sound, shall we? And you can see we've got some reverse as well. And let's go to the beats and add some drill. As I said earlier, these are 8 bars, and you can see in the bottom right here the bars that I'm playing. Try that again. I did actually have really nice musical versions of this all prepared, and then I reloaded the app, and although it's saved each of the different changes up on the top, I hadn't actually saved the whole program, so I've loaded in sort of something that I did a couple of days ago and lost all the really cool nice stuff I've done. But there's a little tip for you: always save using save and close. Oh, what an imbecile. So pitch is obvious, reverse is obvious, and drill is obvious, and next time we've got this call and response. So if we turn on the beats and the bass, turn them on there and just have a listen. So what I'll do is I'll play the beats then the bass, depending on the ratio and the speed control down here. And you can see this little red dot in that circle there indicates which one's playing and which one isn't. So the speed alters the speed at which it changes, and the ratio changes the ratio of how long it plays the beats to the bass. So if it's lower down there, it'll play longer bits of bass and shorter bits of beats. And you may be able to hear a lot of distortion on that bass, so let's just take that off for a second. Let's press and hold P, save that as Call 2 or CR2. There we go. So that will always play exactly what we've just had set up there. If we go into play, and let's take the reverb off, and let's just save that to Q. Save it as CR3. So back into Coldcut, we can now see the modulations 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and what we can see here on the beats is that the reverb is on for all sections. Let's turn so we can't turn it off on the main page because it keeps on turning it on here. So and you can change how long this develops over. So I've got it over 4 bars now. But these modulation routines are really, really super flexible. Let's go down to 3 and 4. Modulation 3 is not on with the beats at the minute, and we can change it to pitch, phase, vibrato, all the delay parameters, all the distortion parameters, filter parameters. Let's change, let's play with the filter, shall we? Filter frequency. Just do a bit of this. And let's modulate, let's put the filter on, shall we? Oops, there we go. And you can see the reverb modulating on and off there. Back into Coldcut. On this one, let's change the filter type, shall we? Just for the fun of it. So you've got 6 different modulation slots for the 4 separate channels. So you've got 24 modulation slots in total, which is crackers when you think about it all on this one sort of screen. Next along the bottom, so we've looked at the play screen, tone, time, pump and Coldcut. Next we've got some master effects, a compressor, some air, adding some nice sort of high-end tones to it, overall distortion, and this sub-bass synth, and this adds really low bass, and you can see which key it's in. It's on a C, and we're in the key of C minor. You can see 108 CM at the top here. So this keeps everything in tune. Really need headphones to hear that, or some massive subwoofers, but there's lots of nice stuff in here as well. As I say, I had set up a really nice demo, but I've bloody lost it. I'm an idiot. Next along the bottom's the clip. So this is the clip looking at the 808 kit, is it? Yeah. Let's just turn the sub bass off for a minute. You can do things like change the start position. Add a bit of vibrato. Change the pitch, the pan, decrease or increase the stereo width, the gain, stuff like that. Play it forward or backwards. So just from these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 buttons at the bottom, we're accessing an awful lot of stuff really simply, really easily. And you've got some record modes for recording out and sampling in. So yes, you can sample in your own work and make your own loops, your own beats. And we've seen the mixer before, and some MIDI options. Then these final screens just make it easy to play live. Nice big buttons to play with. And then finally you've got the settings at the end. So overall, I think this is an amazing, really, really, really good, fun, and actually quite extensive bit of software. Normally these sort of beat creation tools, as I said earlier, you can be done with them in about half an hour. This I was playing with for hours and hours, and there's loads more stuff in it. I feel like I've really not done it justice, because I've just been messing about with showing you how the various parameters work, and had set up some really nice things to play. So yeah, really incredibly flexible beat creation tool. I've been really enjoying playing with this. It was $9.99, I think it's $19.99 now, and I think it's well worth it. It's the price of a pizza and some chicken dippers. You know, get yourself a cheese sandwich one night and buy this instead. You're going to get so much more enjoyment out of this than a ham and pineapple pizza, some garlic bread, chicken dippers and a Coke. So I hope that was of some use to somebody somewhere. See you next time.